All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're demystifying the breathtaking, but let's be honest, pretty complex reality of buying vacant land in Colorado. Colorado attracts buyers for so many incredible reasons. Whether you're looking for a mountain retreat to escape to on the weekends, planning to build your forever home, investing for the future, or just wanting to enjoy some wide open spaces. From alpine forests to high desert plains, it's undeniably one of the most appealing places to purchase property anywhere in the country. But as we're going to see today, making that dream a reality requires a very specific approach. Think about it. There's a massive, stark contrast between buying a turnkey house, where all your utilities are already hooked up, versus buying raw vacant land. When you buy a house, most of the heavy lifting is already done for you. But vacant land, that is a total blank slate. Every single parcel comes with its own unique characteristics, local regulations, and development hurdles. Buyers who understand these differences right out of the gate can make highly informed decisions and, most importantly, avoid incredibly costly surprises down the road. So, to keep you from accidental financial ruin and help secure that dream property, we've broken down our 10 essential checks into 4 clear phases. We've got legal rights and boundaries, assessing the physical terrain, infrastructure and water, and finally, financial and market readiness. Let's kick things off with phase 1, legal rights and boundaries. Listen, if you don't legally own the right to use the land how you want, that gorgeous mountain view literally does not matter. You have to lay the legal groundwork first. Check number 1 is your county zoning regulations. Every single Colorado county makes up its own unique rules. You absolutely cannot assume that just because a piece of dirt is vacant, you can do whatever you want with it. These regulations dictate exactly how you can use your property and what types of structures you are legally allowed to build. Some areas are strictly residential, while others are zoned exclusively for agriculture, recreation, or conservation. You really have to verify if the zoning actually supports your grand vision. We're talking permitted uses, minimum lot sizes, building setbacks, even temporary camping or livestock rules. The county planning department is going to be your best friend here. Planning to park an RV for the summer? Better check those temporary camping rules. Want to build a massive barn or a workshop? You've got to verify those accessory building requirements before you sign anything. Understanding this stuff before closing prevents you from facing deal-breaking limitations after the check clears. Moving right along to check number 2, legal access. Because finding out your physical driveway doesn't legally belong to you is a total nightmare. Some properties sit perfectly along maintained county roads, which is fantastic. But others, they rely entirely on private roads or recorded easements, cutting right through someone else's land. The crucial thing to remember here is that physical access does not always guarantee legal access. If neighboring landowners control how you get to your property, you have to confirm those rights are actually in official property records. Reliable access doesn't just make the land usable, it significantly boosts your future resale value. Then we hit check number 3, property boundaries. This is absolutely critical to protecting your investment from future disputes with your neighbors. When you're looking at raw land out in the wild, the borders are rarely as obvious as they are in some suburban subdivision. Seriously, those existing old fences might just be practical rather than actual legal property lines. A professional survey is a total non-negotiable step to finding the exact corners and acreage. It is incredibly common for an old ranch fence to predate modern surveys, or it was just thrown up where it was easiest to build, completely ignoring the legal boundaries. A professional survey clearly identifies your property corners, your total acreage, any easements, and possible encroachments. Okay, so with the legality squared away, it begs one huge question. What about the actual dirt you just bought? Because having the legal right to build means nothing if the land itself won't physically support your project. Which brings us perfectly into phase 2, assessing the physical terrain. Colorado's geography is wild, and it dictates pretty much every aspect of ownership. We're talking about diverse landscapes ranging from rugged mountains to eastern agricultural plains to southern high deserts. For check number 4, evaluating the regional landscape and topography is key. Are you aiming for the steep slopes of the mountains or the flat expanses of the plains? That choice heavily dictates your construction difficulty and drainage. Mountain parcels might offer breathtaking views, sure, but those steep slopes might literally require a structural engineer so your dream home doesn't just slide down the hill. Flat parcels at lower elevations generally simplify building and give you a way longer building season. Check number 5 dives a bit deeper into soil conditions, because let me tell you, hitting solid granite 3 feet down is going to make your excavation budget evaporate fast. Rocky terrain or poor soil composition will heavily dictate your foundation design and whether you can even install a standard septic system. Not every parcel supports construction equally well. This is exactly why smart buyers order formal soil evaluations before they even begin to finalize their development plans. Check number 6 tackles weather and environmental risks. You have got to visit a property in multiple seasons. It's honestly the only way to truly understand the year-round conditions. Colorado weather is famous for varying wildly. What looks like a stunning, totally accessible meadow in July could be buried under heavy snowfall that completely cuts off road access all winter. There are some serious natural hurdles you've got to evaluate before pulling out your wallet. We're talking heavy seasonal mountain snows, spring flash flooding, wetlands, and definitely wildfire risks that can completely halt building permits. Spring snowmelt alone can drastically affect your drainage, and a quick summer thunderstorm can create dangerous flash floods. You also have to factor in natural features like protected wildlife habitats and flood zones, which might severely restrict what you can actually do. All right, so let's say you've got a buildable parcel with crystal clear borders. The big question now is, how will you actually power and supply your property when you're miles and miles away from civilization? Let's figure that out in Phase 3, Utilities and Water Rules. This is where the stark reality of rural development really sets in. Check number 7 is utility availability. Vacant land usually lacks the basic stuff we all take for granted: electricity, natural gas, public water, sewer services. They might be nowhere near your parcel. You've got to calculate the massive expenses of extending grid lines versus intentionally going completely off-grid with solar power, a well, and propane. Extending utility lines can inflate your budget tremendously. And if you do want to go off-grid, you have to rigorously evaluate if solar and septic are actually practical for that specific site. Then there's check number 8, which introduces what is probably the most famously complicated aspect of buying land here: Colorado water rights. Getting this wrong can literally derail your entire project because the system here differs significantly from a lot of other states. Here's the golden rule you need to memorize. Just because you own the land does not mean you automatically have unrestricted rights to the water on it. Wild, right? Western water law is infamously complex, and water rights often exist completely separately from the land ownership itself. So if you plan on heavy irrigation or raising livestock, you might need entirely separate permits. Some parcels come with valuable water rights attached, while others mean you're starting from scratch hunting down approvals. Now for our final stretch, Phase 4, hidden costs and trends. Buying the actual land is really just the first transaction. For check number 9, we must prepare a complete ownership budget to handle hidden costs and financing. The purchase price is only one piece of the pie. Lenders view raw land as a higher risk, right? So you're looking at larger down payments and shorter loan terms. Plus, budgeting for things like title insurance, property taxes, the surveys we talked about, utility installation, driveway grading, and permits. And finally, check number 10 wraps up our essential list. You've got to explore local market trends and map them to your long-term goals. Colorado is booming and continues to attract buyers nationwide, but market conditions vary wildly by region. Growing communities see way higher prices, while more remote areas might offer you massive parcels for a bargain. You need to compare recent sales and inventory to find the spot that actually aligns with your specific strategy. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to this: the best property depends entirely on your intended use. Matching the land's specific strengths to whether you're an investor, a builder, or just a recreational buyer, that is the secret sauce to a confident purchase. Clarifying your long-term goals makes comparing properties a breeze. An investor prioritizes future growth, a recreational buyer just wants some privacy, and someone building a forever home is going to be hyper-focused on utilities, schools, and year-round road maintenance. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final critical question. Does your Colorado dream actually match your logistical reality? Have you truly checked the zoning, the water rights, and the topography to make sure? Because doing that heavy lifting and thorough research today is the absolutely only way to ensure your piece of the beautiful Colorado landscape actually supports your goals for years to come without totally breaking the bank. Think about it.